Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a bench press day. I was pretty happy with this workout. I was very happy with this workout. I really used this bench press set to assess what's going on. Definitely can tell that my triceps are limiting me more than anything at this point. But I wanted this set to just be slow, controlled. I wanted everything smooth, so I took long pauses on every rep. Wanted everything controlled so that I could really kind of assess where my strength is and where my weak links were. And when I got to the fifth rep, which was my final rep, a nice long pause came off the chest pretty decently quick, and I felt the triceps fighting me on the lockout. So I'm pretty much right. I need to just hammer JM presses. That's also led me to the conclusion, just in terms of recovery, I can only handle so much volume. And I really am going to have to pick and choose. Do I want incline or do I want tricep work? And I like incline. I feel like it does bring a lot to the table for my bench. But my triceps have to have the work. And every time I've got good PRs on the bench, it's been after a phase of real heavy, serious tricep work. So again, went with heavier sets. So instead of doing incline, I went ahead and did 3 sets after my peak set of bench press. Everything paused, especially the last reps, trying to focus on the pausing. Again, just did sets of 6 with this, but I go back and look at where my bench was the strongest, and I was able to do, sets of 8 with this weight as back off work. So I need to get back to that. So the same thing. I mean, I like doing the seal rows, but it's a lot of setup time. And because of this heat, I don't want to spend a long time in the heat. I want these workouts to be real close to an hour, or at least be down to the smallest accessory work at the 1 hour mark, the stuff at the very end. So again, it's what I'm going to have to do. Same thing. People are asking, am I bulking or cutting? Well, I was trying to lean bulk, but I just can't. So again, I've added a little more healthy fats to my diet, actually a lot of healthy fats to my diet. And I'm not even really I may not get the calories in that I need, but I'm going to get enough protein, really focus on all whole foods at this point, right? Keeping saturated fat low, keeping refined sugars very low, So get that recovery back on point. And yeah, throughout the rest of this summer, I'm probably just going to get leaner. It's not my game plan. It's not necessarily what I'm trying to do, but I'm feeling a little better now that I'm not trying to force feed, trying to get 4,500 calories in a day. I actually feel a little better. My GI tract feels better. I feel like I'm recovering better. Because like I said before, I'd gotten to where I had had a couple nights where I got up and threw up at 2 or 3 in the morning, right, just from the food. And was having to try to, just to get it all from carbs, was having to start to add sugar and stuff to my diet, just trying to get the numbers. I'm like, I don't need to do all this. Let's go back to the natural peanut butter, the almond butter, all that stuff, mix it into my yogurt with my frozen fruit, all that stuff that I like, that I've done before. And I feel like I'm starting to actually get even leaner now from it versus a couple weeks ago. And like I said, that's not the plan. That's not the plan. It's good for business, though. I guess if I keep getting leaner, more jacked, it's good for business. But I'm actually training just to get stronger. But again, I've got to really watch the volume and say, where do I need to put the work? And it really needs to be JM presses, pause benching. Because if I can get the weight off my chest fast, when all the pause work will do that, especially the longer pauses, on last reps and things, that'll get the weight off my chest, and then I've got to be able to lock it. Now, if I get to where the lockout and triceps are great, I'll rotate the incline back in and just do bands for triceps. But here's the thing. Because I'm doing pause bench every workout, I do have to pick and choose. I can't really push the incline and the JM press at the same time. I feel like not in this heat, not with the volume limitations. But I can handle a lot of JM pressing. That's the one thing I'm noticing, and I've realized why I can do that, because I'm holding back on it too much. And today I figured that out as I was doing the sets, because they started feeling way too light, but I also needed a week to acclimate to it. So the same thing here, ended up doing after the main set of 5, did 3 sets of pause bench, 3 sets of dumbbell rows. Dumbbell rows do a lot for my back. I like seal rows. But really the problem becomes the setup. I'm having to set up the seal row bench, and I don't have room for a dedicated seal row bench. I've got to set everything up, and I'm doing all that just to get a couple sets in. And it's really extending the time of my workouts. Just trying to get everything set up is adding 10 minutes alone, even if I wanted to do the same number of sets. That's what it feels like, trying to drag the benches over on everything, when I could just do the dumbbell rows. Okay, I can do the dumbbell rows. Dumbbell rows and deadlifts will build my back. My back is never lacking. I think everyone agrees on that when they see it. So the JM presses, I'm tried to focus on really getting them closer to my face here. Which I did. They felt good. And the thing is, the JM press does work chest and stuff too. It's just not as good as the bench. So in between that, I ended up doing 3 sets of dumbbell curls. I increased the weight. I wanted to get to a weight that's challenging for sets of 10. So I went ahead and added more plates to these. So these are 48-pound dumbbells. Right? Felt a lot of bicep burn. And that's the thing. I've always been like the power curls. I feel it more than the dumbbells. Yeah, but that's because I'm using a lot of weight. Right? And ultimately for me, I don't always get a pump from really high reps the way other people do. I can get a pump off of 8 reps if it's heavy enough. So for me, pumps come from just getting real close to muscle failure. And those sets of dumbbell curls were all to failure, by the way, for those curious. Like I couldn't do another rep on each one. I think I only got like 8 or 9 reps on the 3rd set accordingly. So these JM presses, I got into these and I'm like, man, these first 3 sets, they felt too light. I mean, I'm doing sets of 10, but there's no challenge on the first 5 reps. I know that I've got a lot more in reserve. So what I ended up doing with these after I got to that 3rd set, right, I got to that 3rd set, the dumbbell curls, and I'm like, that felt way too easy. Like I think I had 5 reps left. Those were just warm-ups, every one of those sets. So I went ahead and went up another 10 pounds. It didn't feel any heavier. It did not feel any different. So I'm like, really? Why did that not feel any different? I can't tell that I added 10 pounds when I got to it. This one's still with 135. Now, granted, I did the 135 for 5 sets last time. So it's probably a learning curve again, getting back in that groove. But these they just flowed, and it's just like I felt a lot of tricep. I always feel my triceps on these. Okay, and for those curious, some people are like, that's just like a closed grip bench. But it was like, no, it's over my face. I can't get the camera angle. I would have to put the camera inside the dryer for you guys to get the angle. And the same thing, if you guys notice, I have all those bar racks there. I can't actually get the camera to the side to show it. But that barbell is over my neck or over my chin on all of that. So it's not like a close grip because I bench on my stomach. So even when I close grip, it's well below the nipple. So this is above my neck up to above my mouth, right? All those reps. So it is very different. And that's why it is a tricep exercise. That's why it's a tricep exercise. So I went ahead and used the same weight for my laterals. Again, felt pretty good, challenging, felt my shoulders. But I got 8 reps on these using the same. But this is the heaviest weight I think I've ever even tried on a lateral. And there's a point where I go, I don't even care if it looks a little sloppy. My delts are growing from it. Delts are getting actually a little rounder there. I'm noticing that. So the heavier laterals, just a couple sets, are doing something. But right here, I did 10 reps with this, all of them above my face here. And I'm like, this didn't even feel heavy enough. So I'm like, I'm going to do another set of laterals and I'm going to finish up. I'm going to put 185 on the bar. And I got 7 reps with it, which tells me next workout, I need to focus on tension, right? I need to do that 185 for every set once I get warmed up, all right? I need to do it for every set. My bench will start climbing. Let me do that for a couple weeks. Then I bet you I'll start PRing on the bench again, right? I want to get back to doing that 335 for 5. That's where I want to be. That's a good building point to get to and then build off of. But I got 7 reps. I didn't feel like I had an 8th. I felt like it would have been a risk. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.